All right, we're back for another Road Race Report podcast. This one, a post-race show from Road America. Road America was awesome. We get into it, all things kind of the attendance, which was a record for a motorcycle race at Road America since 1980. Incredible turnout. Lots of people, lots of good energy. There just seems to be a ton of buzz around the paddock. So great to be there. Great to chop it up with Corey and James about all things, the main four classes. And we'll get a little business taken care of. We'll get right into it. I'd like to thank our sponsors. This episode is brought to you by Sansotta's Fresh Italian. If you know, you know, as we say every time. But if you don't, Sansotta's is all about doing the things the right way. Fresh ingredients, authentic Italian recipes, and no shortcuts. Pasta, pizza, salads, subs, catering for your next event. It's real Italian food made with intention. If you're in the area for Mid-Ohio, if you want some catering for Mid-Ohio, let's talk about it. Email me at anthony@roadracereport.com and we can get that kind of lined up. We can do pasta, baked chicken, salads, things like that for Mid-Ohio. So if you're interested for catering at Mid-Ohio, it's about 25 minutes from the track. And if we get, the order situated the right way, we can deliver everyone's all at once. It'd be a great thing for the paddock. I know sometimes, the food is hit and miss at the track. So hit us up. We're also brought to you by Yamaha Champions Riding School and Champ U. Whether you're trying to shave seconds off your lap time, become a smoother street rider, or finally just understand why the best riders in the world do what they do, Champ U and YCRS give you direct access to the same principles taught to professional racers and everyday riders alike. This stuff is applicable for anyone. It changed the way I ride a motorcycle, drive a car, ride a mountain bike. After 20 years of doing all those things. So from vision and brake release to throttle timing, bike placement, it's one of the best tools out there for riders looking to build real confidence and real understanding of a motorcycle. You can learn more about Champ U and the Yamaha Champions Riding School at champu.org and ridelikeachampion.com. With that, we'll get into it. Road America post-race show. Buy some merch on the site. Go read the Sunday and Saturday morning notes during the race weekends. We've got results page, championship stats. Check it out. Thanks for listening. We hope you enjoy. All right, fellas, welcome back in. Road America post-race show. We skipped Barber. Everybody had a little bit of everything going on. So, good to have you boys back. Corey, you were on the couch this weekend. How was that for you?
Dude, it was kind of nice. I'll be honest. I was watching home on the big screen. I had a little bit. I love Road America, so it's always a little bit tough to sit home from that one. It would have been fun to have a few spotting cows and watch from the sides of the track, but it was okay. We're deep in wedding planning right now, so we were doing arts and crafts all weekend at the house. So
Right on.
it's all good.
James, you guys obviously had a pretty solid weekend. We had a little debrief with you, but
check it out on Road Race Report. You see the debrief, just send them straight to the Instagram, wherever,
straight to it. The vlog's coming. We know that.
Vlog's coming, dude. Hogs Bully days. It was awesome, both races kind of sucked, but overall the weekend was positive, the big thing is the crowd, right? For me, like seeing the amount of people, Corey, on a Friday, it was jam-packed. Turn 5 on Saturday and Sunday, you literally couldn't walk. Like, it was like standing room only. You couldn't drive a golf cart. Like, it was the most people I've ever seen at Road America in the history I've ever been there. So that was really cool. A ton of Harley fans. Our autograph line literally went out the door, wrapped around like an amusement park. It was crazy. So stoked on the weekend as far as that goes. And the company did well. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to put a result up, but the company did well. So it was good.
Yeah, sweet. It was a Road America posted today. They didn't post the number, but they said it was the record attendance for a motorcycle race at Road America. So Yeah, it was packed, and you kind of knew it going in on Friday. Like
Yeah.
I was cruising around early in the morning, and there was just like some of the camping zones, like inside the carousel, there's no spots. So yeah,
What
it was good.
what do we
I
they
think
said last year what we have? It's got to be over 60,000 then this year, huh?
Has to be.
last year was 54,000, I think.
Yeah. Yeah, it has to be, dude. It was noticeable over last year.
Yeah,
Like yeah, Corey was crazy.
it was easily the most crowded I've seen a Moto America race.
Ever.
Period.
Yeah.
Wow.
So yeah,
Imagine if Arch was there, it would have been even more packed, dude.
Yeah.
dude.
Dude, KR and guard and the Hollywood star Corey Alexander.
So good.
Dude,
So
new TV
good.
show, new TV show coming out.
Can't wait. We can't wait for it. I've been watching the 30-person film crew cruise around the racetrack for a good year now. So, well, sweet. We'll kick it off with Twins Cup. I'll breeze through this one. I know you guys may or may not have caught it, but Bodie Page and Hank Vosberg swapped wins. It was kind of sweet on the podium. Bodie was like, yeah, the whole game plan was to upset Hank's momentum because Hank had the pace. Like if you look at the times, Hank clearly had the pace, and he did it and was successful. And he put a last sector together on the last lap. Like he come out of the kink and looked over his shoulder and had plenty of space, and he was like just went flawless through the last sector and made it to the line without getting drafted. So it's good to see that. And then Hank the next day returned the favor. He kind of just waited and made the pass. They made a couple passes. Isaac Woodworth was up in there in the mix and throwing some bows, which was, yeah, it was mixy. Both races, 3 guys. Jody Berry was in the race 1. And yeah, Hank baited Bodie into making a move in the last corner. Just kind of let him kind of drift wide a little bit, and Bodie went underneath and he drafted him to the line. So at least that's how Hank's story went on the podium. So yeah, it was good. The racing's just solid, and it seems to be a mix of people. So fun to watch. The kids are definitely getting fast. One shout out that I have to make is Madi Salem went 5.7 in his Twins Cup debut and was definitely rolling really well. So somebody coming up from Moto America, the talent, not the Talent Cup, but
Yeah.
Ovale is further down. Yeah,
He's
it's
a
cool to see it.
Jersey kid too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
He's a
buddy.
Jersey kid. We were just riding Supermoto the week before, so it's
Nice.
fun.
Yeah.
He's such a good kid.
Yeah.
Him and his dad and their whole family, they work really hard at it. So it's cool to
Yeah.
see.
It's really cool to see the short progression from 2 years ago. I think I commentated at Road America for the Ovale Cup, the to get into the world or whatever that race series, and Moto America's backed. And man, I mean, to see those names starting to creep up into different classes out of even Talent Cup to Twins and being relevant is awesome. Like you can see it starting to work, right? Like at least there's a pathway now coming through from Ovales up into the the bigger categories, and to be able to go top 5 debut, right? Like it's nice. So it's good to see.
Yep. Yeah. So all good stuff around all the way around in Twins Cup. Let's get to the what I think was probably the story of the weekend. Let's talk
Yeah.
super sport. We had a rule change that was basically just kind of thrown on the Sportity. Wasn't even on the website. I couldn't find it anywhere. I had to get Sportity and do the whole song and dance, but there was no info on it, and it was just new maps for super sport. Like, hey, these are due to be in your bike before P1 FP1, and I heard nothing. And then Friday morning I was talking to somebody at Ray Hall, and they were like, yeah, it's going to be interesting with less power and Suzuki getting a bump in torque. So yeah, I guess at the end of the day it was 7% for Ducati off the top end, and then Suzuki got what I don't know the percentage, but they got some down low. So it looks normal in the first practice, and then Ty Scott grabbed pole by almost a half a second. So he said it was mainly due to edge grip, and they had just kind of found a good chassis setup and got him comfortable on the edge of the tire. That was what he said in his poll debrief with me on Road Race Report. So, I mean, he looked good all weekend and he's looked good all year. What do you boys think of the what do you make of this rule change late on a Thursday?
For me, it's tough, man. Like we're dealing with it in hooligans, and obviously, in the bagger stuff. You start going too many rule changes too quick, and then you're now just like dictating what's going on, what could be rider and whatnot. So, I mean, it's a tough one. I wouldn't want to be in, Teague's shoes or Moto America's shoes to be able to make these calls, but we also have to know the 750 did phenomenal there last year, right? Like it was Ty Scott was in the hunt all last year. And he does really well at Road America. He's always been well there. We could roll this back and go, hey, there was a rule change for the Yamaha coming into this year, which arguably I think was the wrong call to make because you saw the talent come up with the Ducati and all these other guys, and how much was Matt? Like when you have one outlier, it's tough to make a change for me, but um yeah, I don't know. It definitely made things interesting, but you could still see there's still some discrepancy between Warhorse Ducati and the Ray Hall. So like
Yep.
Warhorse definitely has speed over Ray Hall. Whatever they're doing, their package is more aero, got a little bit more punch. Whatever Darren's doing an incredible job with his tuck. Like don't know what that package they have, but we saw it with Chavi back in the day. We saw it several times with the Warhorse bike when Josh rode it at Daytona. That Ducati package has always been the best. And for me, yeah, they seem to have enough to sniff, whereas the Ray Hall bikes seem to be a little bit down on just some top speed.
Yep. Yeah, Corey, what do you got on that? You rode that bike last year.
Yeah, I would agree. I mean, for sure, it seems like the Warhorse guys just have a little more experience with that package. Don't know what they're doing differently, but they're at that pace, every little bit makes such a little difference. I do think it is interesting that the Suzuki got the help though, because I don't think that the Suzuki, I don't know, they're struggling. I would have thought the Yamaha they would have gotten some help for somehow. I don't think they can really do
Yeah.
much for the Yamaha just because it's not really part of like the next gen restriction package other than the swing arm. They can't
Yep.
really unrestrict it anymore. So I don't know. I mean, I think yeah, it's definitely interesting. Obviously, it doesn't help their case that a Ducati won anyway. So you can't really like at the end of the day, that's what everyone's always going to say. I think yeah, I just don't think it's an easy thing to really do. But I will say like Aiden Sneed was up there for the first time, and he's been chipping away at it all year, which was kind of interesting, right? Perfect example. Like he made the jump to Suzuki, and all of a sudden he made a step forward, and then all of a sudden this weekend they changed the rules, and he made another step forward. So it's like, was Suzuki really? I think the Suzuki is a great package as it was, and then they gave him a little more help. So,
Yeah.
and in my opinion, that bike got off the corner really well as it was last year. Like I had a horrible time dealing with the Suzukis all year last year and the year before because they just seem to be able to get off a little bit better than Ducati. And it's not as simple as the way they describe it with the way they balance stuff. I think a lot of people don't understand. Like they think they just cut power, but there's actually like calculations on rate of acceleration, and there's a lot that goes into it. So it's not as simple as just like, yeah, they took 2% away. Like it's
Yeah.
not. It's there's more to it. Like they have to reach a certain kilometer, and then the restrictions kind of start to come in, and the number that changes, and there's just a lot to it that you know yeah, I think even riding style plays a lot into it. Like watching Kayla all weekend, like, dude, why is she turning in so tight everywhere? Like she's killing her drives. And so you could see she really struggled to get a draft. It looked like all
Yep.
weekend, and at her size, usually she's the strongest on the Ducati. But whereas like Binder is like carrying so much roll speed everywhere, and maybe it didn't hurt him as bad because of the way he's riding the thing, a lot like Chavi did, and Josh also carries a ton of roll speed. So um, I think it's so nuanced that basically, long story short, I don't think there's a right or wrong answer. I think the racing was interesting all weekend. I think anybody really could have won it, and some people made some mistakes and so on and so forth. So
Yep.
I think Josh would have got race one had he not made that mistake. I think he has that place dialed enough to have made a move somewhere. So then would the argument be a little bit different if Josh won that race? Would Rahal, would they have a leg to stand on?
Yeah.
Who knows? It'll be
Yeah.
interesting to see how the next tracks go.
It is interesting how they just kind of put it on Sportity and just like didn't really no release, no nothing. You know what I mean? The 200
Yep.
RPM for Harley was blasted, I think, on every single media outlet there possibly was. There's a
Yeah.
conversion on TV exactly, showing it. I think it's quite interesting how certain things play and don't play. But, going on to what Corey said about Josh Herron, I think that was an interesting move in race one. Like, I fully agree. It looked like he looked back 3 or 4 times. In my opinion, I'm like, dude, this guy's just chilling. He's got it, and then makes a like very weird mistake.
Yeah.
Like very weird. For some
Yeah.
guy that's like can race really unorthodox at times, like just send it in and just make it work, kind of figure it out. Um, just a weird mistake. It didn't look like he was on the limit at all when he was sat behind him. And then he kind of would roll off the back like he had so much speed that he could come back. And yeah, very, very odd.
Yeah.
Definitely a momentum swing though, for sure.
Yeah, it was interesting to get Josh Hayes' opinion. He kind of went in deep with me in a debrief, and just basically saying, they did what they did, but they can or didn't do anything for us. But at the end of the day, he was able to draft a motorcycle again for the first time in a long time to feel like, okay, I can actually pull somebody in. So to your point, Corey, the change to the Ducati has helped the Yamaha. But the Suzuki is its own outlier. And yeah, a couple people had mentioned to me, it's just strange to have 2 changes at once instead of, tinkering with one and trying to get it right. They made 2 swings at it, which, again, the results don't show, maybe what the changes were. I don't know.
Yeah.
Real world, as Hayes put it, real world versus paper is 2 different things. And yeah, it's interesting. The press conferences got a little tense, and
Well, I
it was
think
good.
it's kind of obvious, right, who's pushing for changes because there's only one Suzuki at the front. So
Yep.
it's kind of the writing's kind of on the wall there. You know what I mean? Where there's several other manufactured teams that are all kind of at a similar level, and then there's only one big Suzuki team. So it's like if they make a Suzuki change, it's not just because nobody asked for it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Somebody's got to be pushing that to make that happen. And
And
no credit away from Tyler because he's been definitely, you see a different Tyler this year. He seems to be a lot smarter. I don't think that mistake in the race was his fault necessarily. I think he just got sucked in and had really nowhere to go, and you kind of get out in the dust out there a little bit. And there's that bump out there. Like I think he could have been a little more patient, but I think overall he seems to be on the more mature side than he has been in years past, just watching him. So,
Yeah.
I think they've done a lot of work to get him to be where he's at, but
Mm-hmm.
it is peculiar. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Yeah, I kind of disagree with you a little bit. There is no bump in turn one anymore. That's gone, just so you know. But
Even out that wide?
yeah, there's nothing out there anymore. It's fully smooth. The the only reason I disagree is yeah, maybe he got sucked in, but dude, he was looking at that 2 laps in a row, like on the outside, not drafting to the inside. He had speed, dude. Turn one of all places around the outside. Like I mean, I don't know, man. It just seems like out of all the places on the track, like why would you roll the outside? So I agree with you that it's dirty out there, and yeah, he might have got sucked in, but I don't know, man. You're never gonna make that work ever against one of those 3 guys, like or Darren and Josh. Like you're never gonna ride around
Yeah.
them with the amount of corner speed that those guys have, especially on a Ducati. Like for me, just kind of a miss in calculation, getting a little too greedy with the new setup maybe, and just being at the front and just kind of. But yeah, I mean, yeah, I don't.
It was a big move. Let's put it
It's
that way.
just,
It was a
it's
big
just
move.
for me, it seemed unnecessary when like if you had the speed, like
Yeah.
there's another opportunity. Yeah, I mean, I guess I wasn't in the race. It's tough when you can armchair it from here. It's yeah, dude, why'd you do that? But yeah,
Yeah.
we've all made those mistakes.
What was up with the beef between Tyler and Kayla in the press conference? They didn't record the press conferences Did they?
They did. Yeah,
Did they?
they're on YouTube. You couldn't really see it, and then they panned the camera out wide once they realized like
Beef.
Kayla was making some pretty big facial expressions.
Chirping or no?
Laughed during one of Tyler's quotes, which was, yeah, it got pretty entertaining and tense for sure. And it was more so on the thing of like, I think you mentioned like, you could point to the rule changes as an excuse for a missed setup or something like that. And I was like, whoa, okay.
That's what he
Big.
said.
That was a shot.
That's a
Yeah, that was
big
a shot.
statement, dude. That's a big statement, big
It
dog.
was a shot. And then he followed it up with like, we'll see at the ridge. It's a rider's track, blah, 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 the whole thing. And I was like, oh God, right. He followed right up with that. And she's just like laughing. They pan the camera and she's just got this big shit-eating grin on her face. Like she's just ready for it, So I encourage everyone to go watch both Super Sport press conferences. They were entertaining for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, Bender straight up just said you could kind of see that he was sandbagging, like if I can pull you in at certain times and then all at once you can go and I can't pull you in and I've not changed anything, somebody's doing something different here and it's not me. So it was pretty entertaining. I think it could get pretty spicy here over the next couple rounds, and
I like it because it brings another dynamic between just the Bender Heron show. And I think, going back to the rule change, you had 3 Ducatis kind of running it with straightaway speed. Now, if you slow them down a smidge, they still run the race and control the race, but it brings, like you said, that other dynamic with Hayes, which is great to see. And then now Tyler Scott. But what it really, really does is it starts to bring, the chess pieces in that we don't normally see. And, when I look at Binder, I don't see somebody coming from the world championship, managing at the moment. I think he is pushing every lap. That's kind of how they're bred over there, is push, 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 push. And, that guy I don't think is, when he says he's seeing sandbagging, I don't think he's rolled and gone, hey, because his lap times are like, that dude is
metronome.
He has just been built on this, and the last 3 pulls the pin, kind of like Heron. Except for I feel like Heron at the first 2 races has actually tried to go to the front and slow it down.
Yeah.
Right. Personally, I think he's controlling the race more than Binder, and I think now Binder is starting to get comfortable and realize, hey, I can control the race, and I think that's kind of where Heron's having to ride a bit over where he wants to.
Yeah. To that point, I mean, we're going to 2 tracks now that Darren has openly said that he's spent time on a V4 at both tracks in the last month or so. So we're gonna see. It's
scary, dude. Like he's gone this fast, this quick.
Yeah.
And Road America is not that easy. Like, I mean, you got to have a horse, one, but it looks easy on paper, but it's not that easy to commit, so.
Yep. We'll brush on this real quick, just because we're on the topic of Bender and Heron. Darren even mentioned it this weekend. It's really cool to see them be able to ride so aggressively and maintain, like they were doing 16s and they were chopping each other up. Like they're making aggressive passes and managing to not stuff each other and slow the pace down. And it's made for some really entertaining racing. And it's something that I don't know. You don't see it a ton, at least over here, where it's like 2 guys just slicing each other up and still running, hot pace. So that was something to note that that Darren even mentioned. He's just having a blast, and I'm sure Josh is too. Josh likes that kind of racing. So yeah, cool to see that. And then also cool to see that we had 2 Yamahas closing in the front group. Blake Davis found some serious pace at the end of that race, and sure, yeah, the guys in front of him were cutting it up a little bit. So, either way, just seeing that 22 kind of claw back into the front after all the struggles they've been having at the beginning of the year, and it's good to see. And then, yeah, Hayes was in contention for a podium, so promising stuff for Super Sport.
I think, and you saw the draft to the line. I mean, that the 22's got some speed. Like that thing is, when the setup's right, I think Blake's actually got a little bit better horse than we think at the moment. When he's able to do what he needs to do, it looks like he's got the speed, and I think if he can get in that front group with what he had last year, I think he gets towed along all day.
Yep.
Personally, you know,
Yep.
I
but
do wonder what they're. I was thinking about this weekend. I wonder what they're doing for motors now that they're not doing the attack thing anymore. Like who's doing the R9 motors?
Good question.
yeah,
I'll
that's
dig into that.
interesting.
I'll dig
Yeah.
into that at the
And
ridge.
then we just got to bring up like a very odd mistake for Heron. Like,
Yeah.
when's the last time we saw Heron crash?
Dude, he was pushing though.
Yeah, yeah.
I
I
think
mean, to
Heron.
lose the
I think
front
Heron was
there.
pushing.
Yeah, I think so
Yeah.
too. But he's
Yeah.
also. Have you dug into his arm thing, his hand? Like, is he struggling? He said he was struggling at Barber quite a bit, where his hand was going numb. Don't
He
want to put
was
him on blast, but he
no,
said,
he was definitely struggling. He said it. I believe he said it twice over the weekend at Barber to me in an interview. So
yeah,
it's not like it's not out there. He seemed a lot better this weekend. I didn't see like they had massage therapists like every time he was off the track, his arm was up in the air and she was digging in on his shoulder and his wrist, and uh didn't see much of that this weekend. He seemed to be in good form and a good
yeah,
mood, and he swung a golf club like a hero on the Thursday before. So it didn't seem like he was having any
okay.
issues. So yeah, that's something that I'll note here to kind of dig in as well to start the ridge. But yeah, anything else, Super Sport boys? I think that's pretty solid run through at it. Any outlier commentary? There's
Oh, Gerardo is back.
yeah,
You
dude.
know,
Gerardo, yeah,
on the Suzuki,
Yep.
right?
destroyed that thing.
So,
I don't know if I'll be back after that one though.
oh yeah, yeah.
That
It
thing
was
So
a
got
big one.
written off. But yeah, it was good to see him up there. Demario starting to kind of get it figured out. It looks like a little bit.
Yep.
Sixth in
Dom
race two.
Dom Doyle had a really good race one, and then he had an issue in race
yeah,
two that was a little off the record. He was still trying to get to the bottom of exactly what happened, but essentially it came down to him realizing in the first lap or two that he couldn't carry any roll speed. So he was having to dive it down on the brakes and get it out, point and shoot. And obviously the Yamaha is not the greatest thing for that. So
Torin Collins had a good run, and I think there was on TV, he absolutely rolled somebody around the outside in the last corner to the line. Fair play, dude.
yeah.
That's a ballsy move in the last corner to do that.
Yep. Yeah,
So
for sure. Cool.
Superbike.
Whew, Superbike.
tasty.
Tasty. It's heating up now. We'll start. Cam Bobier has exited the chat at least temporarily. Dislocated shoulder. He said in just a quick conversation that I had with him that he didn't even really make a big mistake. He just got it in a little hot and got to the edge of the track and was just brakes, clipped the grass. And when he clipped the grass, it went immediately because he was so hard on the front trying to just get it stopped. And, instead of blowing through the chicane there at the kink, he just tried to get her stopped. And he's like, in hindsight, I should have just, sent it through and let it, let it figure itself out. But yeah, apparently he had a dislocated shoulder fixed on that same side. So I'm curious to see, like, it could be, how it is when you re-injure something that's been surgically fixed. It could be easy fix. It could be a disaster. So he was getting that thing looked at that this week. Best wishes to him. He was finally, it looked like, starting to get that thing sorted out pretty good. So shame to see it. Shame to see that we may not get all of the best of Camby and the Ducati. So
I think that's something to say that, like, on paper, sometimes it just doesn't happen
yeah,
the way like you would should. Like, dude, like, I mean, when he would do his lap, you'd be he's always at the front, but just
yep,
little weird crashes like the whole
yep,
year. Like this, I talked to him a little bit at dinner, in passing, and he goes, it's just so weird. Like when it's good, it's like the best bike I've ever ridden. Like, you know,
Yep.
X5. But he goes, it's just the instability, like every once in a while, this is me, not his words, but just the way he sounded was like every once in a while it would just do something that's just not natural. Like
Yep.
whether it be the wings or aerodynamics, Dunlop tires. He's like,
Yeah.
and it's just causing catching him out.
Yeah. I mean, it's so inconsistent, right? Like
Yeah.
it's like,
Uncharacteristic.
dude, I watch a lot from very close on the track, and I'm watching typically those guys in a camera lens, and I know enough to know like, okay, he was in a way different spot the last lap, or really what I noticed was how planted. It's either really planted and he's hauling ass, all the Ducatis, the new Ducatis, or they come in and they're just like, wow, it's just they're fighting tooth and nail to keep it on the ground. And I mean, to that point, it's crazy to see Ben Smith. That thing has tried to kill him twice. The one this weekend at Road America was like, when you watch it without knowing if he's okay, you're like, that it was massive. I mean, he passed the bike crashing in the brake zone, and the bike tagged him twice, and he was beat up but okay. So again, just crazy. And then the opposite end of the spectrum, you have PJ, and it's like PJ comes to grips with the thing and gets a podium, gets a second place, and is fighting for a win. So yeah, they're
But you can even see with PJ, man, like he is not riding like normal PJ. It looks like he's at 78% from
yep,
what I see of like a talent level of PJ and the way what he can get away with on a motorcycle, period.
for sure.
It looks like he's cruising around and doing the least amount to get the best result, right?
Yep,
And that's like with most respect. Like he's doing a great job, but I
yep,
think
It looked like he was
honestly,
riding scared, honestly, all
but
weekend.
it looks
It
like
just
he's
looked like he
riding
was
injured, right? So like
that
he's
too. Yeah,
slowed,
yeah, yeah.
yeah, he's slowed way down, and it seems like it might be helping that bike.
yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
mean,
I mean, I think he was equating it to kind of the BMW because it looks a lot like the BMW the first year he was on it, and even thereafter, like the same struggles. I think it was just like a bucking Bronco until really Cam got on it, and then they got the new chassis updates, and then they started to dial electronics in, and then all of a sudden it's a lot more rideable, which you see now. But I think it seems like he's trying to take that same approach. I don't know if you know they're going about it the same way, but definitely seems like and I think he mentioned that this weekend was like we're trying to do the same stuff that we did with the BMW.
yep. Yeah, they were like measuring center of gravity on that thing. They had like all but a robot out there. They had that thing flipped up on it. I think they might have shown in the broadcast, but like they were doing every measurement, every weight point they could find. I stood there for a minute and just was just like, okay, they're in the weeds for
Yeah,
sure.
but
So
that's part of the Dunlop tires, man, in the US tracks. Like
yep,
something doesn't quite equate to Pirelli and asphalt in Europe. Um, one thing I will say is like it is interesting to see it's interesting to see like almost to take a different approach and have to go like you have to kind of wait. Like it seems like the Ducatis, you got to just wait for the updates to come and just kind of be there. Because it seems like there's a lot of mistakes going on still, whether it be engines or people at the front or in the back. Like the championship doesn't seem as locked as we saw for the first two rounds with Matthew Schultz.
yep, yeah. I mean, the Yamahas were better than the attack Yamahas were better than we would have expected a Yamaha to be at Road America. I know Scolti had some issues in race one. I was told I was told, but I don't know if it was on the record or off the record. So yeah, had an issue and just couldn't get the most out of the motorcycle. And then yeah, obviously had the motor go, what was it, like 2 laps into the race. So it's a shame to see it. Because I don't think we saw even close to what Skulls was capable of, Yamaha, Ducati, whatever. I think he would have been in a much better position had he not had just, dumb luck happening. But the attack boys came to play. And they got in a little hard with each other there at the end of race 2. teammates rubbing it up. I don't think they touched, but yeah, JD wasn't so stoked. I think they made amends after the race, but dude, it was spicy for sure.
Yeah, no, I think that's really cool to see the Attack Yamahas back at the front. It is interesting though to see that uh, for me, when they get a new tire for qualifying, the Yamahas are kind of struggle a little bit towards until like Sunday morning warm up, where like everybody puts their best foot forward or whatever. But um, just on the beach thing, he's definitely surprising me more. I wouldn't say surprise me more, but from when I look at each session, during the sessions, you see his name more around 6, 7, 8. And then in the race, he's very good at the front. He's been there a few times now. Barber was a surprise. It looks like during the weekend he has less pace than he does. And then it's like as everybody comes down to race pace over whatever 12 laps, 18 laps at different tracks, he makes a step up, and it's very impressive to see. And maybe they're working on that during the weekend instead of chasing fast lap times because he's showing up in almost every race now when it's counted. So super impressed with the way JD's going about it this year, and it's really good to see.
Yeah, what do you think, Corey?
Yeah, I think the same. I mean, I think I don't know if it's him just kind of getting back in acquaintance with the Yamaha. That's kind of taken him a little bit of time. Um, JD doesn't really he doesn't crash a ton either. I think he's a little bit more methodical. So yeah, but it's definitely good. I mean, he seems like watching race two on Sunday, like he looks kind of like the JD, from before he went to flat track.
Yeah,
Like he's kind of
agreed.
got that aggression a little bit more, and I think he probably feels like maybe he belongs there a little bit more than he did in the past. So um, what's also crazy too is I was looking at the points is like he's not really far off. He's only like 20 something points back,
Yep.
and I think that's going to be a little bit of his deal this year. I think if he's just consistent, and whether or not that's on his mind, I'm sure he just wants to go out and win. But I think him just kind of being like consistent and just chipping away at it, I think is going to actually kind of be a strong suit for him in the end because I think all those guys at the front, I think, are just going to keep kind of bouncing up and down and pushing the envelope, but pushing it, like in Cam's case, to the point where it's not sustainable at the moment. I don't think you're going to see anyone kind of run away with it at this point.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I think you'll have guys that have weekends, right? Like Schulte had two just really strong weekends to start the season. And yeah,
We
it's
also have to we
good.
also have to go like this is the first weekend that they were kind of forced to run 7 rear tires. Like if I'm right. I mean, I don't think at Barber they did, and I know at Atlanta they didn't. So like the dynamic has changed with the 7 rear being so hard. Um and I mean, dude, when you've got that amount of horsepower and we've both ridden the sevens, I mean it's not the grippiest tire there
Yeah,
is.
so that was
So
the case. They didn't have anything else for them this weekend.
I don't think there was a
Wow.
5 available. I don't think so. Maybe for qualifying, but from what I heard, there was a lot of
Hmm.
sevens being out of the truck because Superbike was using sevens and they normally don't. Like
Interesting.
from on the rear side of things.
Hmm. Yeah, and I mean Ridge is going to be even more interesting if that's the case, because it does that tend. I mean, it's gotten less and less abrasive, but it's definitely a little more abrasive uh, on tires. But them running a seven, it's going to be kind of
Oh
yeah.
no, I think they can go back, but I'm just saying for Road America, I'm like,
Okay,
yeah, because
okay.
I'm just gonna check.
But regardless, I think I don't see that Ducati being the bike for the Ridge in its current
Sure.
state. I mean that track is kind of it's tight and it's yeah, it's really interesting to watch how that thing just gets so out of shape. It's almost like I mean at times it almost looks like the way the bikes look in Mugello coming into the braking zone in turn one is like how those things look like
Yeah,
coming out of
just
the corner. It's like scary, man.
for sure.
But yeah, I think otherwise in Superbike,
I mean,
Camp
should
P
we,
obviously
yeah,
first
should
win
we
was
talk about
pretty.
the winners? Yeah.
Yeah, Camp P winning the thing was pretty. I mean, that's the other cool thing that's kind of funny. It's like I don't know. Everyone makes that Ducati sound like it's like old and antiquated that he's on, and it's like, dude, that thing is like as tried and true as it gets, and it still had the lap record. They didn't. I don't think they broke it, did they? It's
No,
still
I don't think so.
Heron's fastest lap
I
from
believe
him
so.
on that bike is still stands. So it's like I don't know. I wouldn't have really bet against Cam if he looked like he was looking good. It's like why not? You know.
Yep.
And
And
it
the bike
looked
still
good.
looks, yeah, yeah, it looks stable. It's definitely got the horsepower. I don't know what happened on Sunday. It was kind of bizarre. It looked like he finally made inroads, and then all of a sudden it just like stopped, and that was a bummer because I was like, it's going to be a fight, and then he just couldn't really get up there, you know?
Yeah, I didn't get to catch up with him, but I saw the same thing. You're just like, okay, here he comes, and then it was just I don't know if the tire went or um, I know that there was a bad tire or two that I had heard of over the weekend, so maybe he just caught a stray and ran out of tire. But either way, dude, like the emotion in Victory Circle from everyone, like the Warhorse team coming over and just like mobbing him before he even got to Victory Circle, like it's so cool to see an entire paddock so stoked for somebody and him just like almost breaking down in tears like 6 different times, just standing there staring off into space. I can't believe it, you know? So fair
I
play,
mean,
super awesome.
I mean, just look, dude. The dude from the attack, his attack days, has been through it. He's crashed a few fair times. He's gone through with some injuries. You saw him limping for like a whole year. I mean, and then to jump back on a pretty good bike. His dad is his crew chief. I
Yeah.
mean, like kind of Cinderella story, dude. Back with Wrench, who they gave Bobby his, you know, push back in to get his factory. I mean, it kind of just syncs up, and I'm stoked to see a privateer effort like that do that.
Yep.
Like that just shows you American Superbike or Moto America Superbike. You can do it with the right support and the right people to do the job. You don't need to be a factory to kind of do. I mean, Ray Hall just showed it as well, but it's really good to see where it was just kind of built on factories, and now you're seeing like Ray Hall and Gear Wrench or Wrench Racing.
Yep.
I don't know what their
Yeah.
name is,
Yep.
but
Wrench.
Wrench.
Yeah. No, I agree. And I think Cam's always been incredibly fast at the ridge.
Yeah.
Um, so I think that bike, you know, with him on it, if things are kind of going as smoothly as they
Eh,
did this weekend, he
Yeah,
could
but
be
dude,
pretty
Heron was
dangerous.
unreal there last year, dude.
Yeah.
Dude, like
Yeah.
that bike turned in the last sector was so good. I shoe in. I think he's gonna be decent, man. I think he's gonna be good.
Yeah. I
Yep.
agree. And then we got SDK,
Yeah.
first win of, is that his first ever Superbike
No.
win or no?
No.
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 No,
I
first
don't
win
think
of
so.
the year, right?
Yeah. First
Yeah.
win of the year.
With
First win
first one
Yeah.
with Orange Cat.
I believe. Is that
Yep.
Orange Cat's first Superbike win?
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure.
So,
For sure.
Yeah, but
dude,
dude,
Which is
that
cool.
guy.
let's see.
Hey, I told you guys at the beginning of the year this dude was gonna be dialed in. I mean, he's got some good people around him. He's got great support, and he knows that BMW from Top Pro, and he looks like the SDK from Top Pro. Like
Yeah.
it looks like every race, every session, he's just finding something else a little bit to sharpen his armor. I think he's dangerous, man. I think as he builds momentum, that kid, I think he's gonna be dangerous.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. He just
It
seems.
seems like he it seems like he qualifies a little bit better than he races at the moment. That's the one thing that I haven't figured out why, you know.
Yep.
I think he's, dude. I think. Well, one thing I will say about SDK is I think he's got an unreal amount of corner speed from his Moto 2 and European days. And I think he kind of like Cam on that BMW is kind of making up for some of the flaws on that bike by with how much corner speed he's able to roll. And I think when he gets a new tire, he's able to extract just that little bit more and use all the power that he needs because the thing's fast. So, in my eyes, I think he's got like that combination that Can Be did with a little bit less inconsistencies with it.
Yeah. Yeah, that makes sense. I would agree with that. But it was good to see him get that one done. And yeah, I mean, I don't know. I don't know if do you see him getting on a roll? Like, I don't know if I don't think I've
I
seen
don't think
anyone really get on a
anybody, dude.
roll.
I think everyone's
Yeah.
gonna. Like Matthew Skoltz comes back at the ridge. That to me that looks like a physical, track where his bike seems to turn in the smallest circle out of everybody's at the moment. What
Yeah.
you know, like when I look at it and I watch everybody roll through a corner, his bike just seems like it turns tighter and underneath everybody, like almost like an R6. And I think that's pretty deadly at the ridge.
That, and I think he can put it wherever he wants it at any point, it seems. Like at Barber, dude, just, I mean, getting it into the corner, however, whenever, wherever, is going to be such a benefit at the ridge to be able to, get into some spots and get it turned and pointed, like you said, just quicker and, faster than
Eh,
everybody. So we'll see. I mean,
I don't want to go preview Ridge, but like the
yeah,
Ridge causes there's a lot of chatter there. Um, just speaking on Bobby Fong, it was good to see him at the sharp end. It seems like he's had a slower, I don't want to say slow start because he's been fast the whole time, but it seems like he doesn't have that um, you know, it doesn't seem like he's got a last year I felt like he was like on a big wave, right? Like I felt like he was kind of really dialed in, and this year I seem like it's kind of more of a build, whether the injuries hurting him or whatnot. But also he struggled extremely bad at the Ridge, so hopefully that's not the case.
yep,
But I just remember him kind of not loving it.
yep. Anything else super bike? I know I want to talk a little bit of Andrew Lee in the Superbike Cup. Just absolutely coming to terms with that Honda. I think he was in the top 10 of both Superbike races. I have to look. Top 10 overall, both races. So good to see that. He seems to just be working through one thing at a time and taking the right approach with it. He had Larry Pegram as his teammate at 51 years old this weekend, which is just incredible to see it.
So Larry said that that was the bike that Beach won on, was the one that Larry rode. The new,
Nice.
like I guess they built a new one for Andrew, but that bike that he rode was JD's from last year, and I mean we saw the damage that he did on that bike.
Yeah, he got a podium, got a third in Superbike Cup.
That is Larry, dude. That's crazy.
It's
The worm,
unbelievable.
dude.
The worm,
The
dude.
worm.
I will say, very underwhelming for me, with Andrew because and this just sounds bad, but I just expect this. Like I like what he's doing is exactly what I thought he would do. I think he
Yep.
deserves a ride on a superbike. Like I think he's doing everything that you need to do and show up every weekend and he's dotting everything. He's not making any mistakes.
Yep.
Somebody needs to just like give the dude a shot.
Yep.
Give him a shot.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Totally agree.
yeah. I would like to have seen him on that orange cat bike to see. I mean, he's not far off of Uribe a lot of the time on the Honda. So kind of goes to show you. I will say one of the surprising things going into the weekend was to see Ezra Bobier swapped out for Alex Dumas. Bit of a bummer on that. I heard his funding fell through.
Oh,
Um, he had a guy from Canada that was kind of supporting his travel and some of his expenses, I guess, and I guess fell apart.
That's a bummer.
Yeah, it was super weird because he was we were tested at Talladega and seemed stoked and happy to be back and was on the podium. I
yep.
think he would have been kept chugging away at it, but good to see Ezra back as well, and I think that'll be interesting to see if that progresses at all during the year.
Yep.
Um, yeah, I think that's really it for Superbike. There wasn't really anything. There was a lot, but not much outside of the top 6 or 8 that other than Hayden top 5
Yeah.
in
Yep.
race 1 at Road America, I thought was pretty impressive
It's a
on
good
that thing. I know
segue,
it's
really. I
fast,
mean,
but yeah,
he's rolling. They seem to just be. We said it at the beginning of the year. I think we all agreed that they're gonna get updates through the year that are just gonna slowly start bringing them closer and closer. And I think, yeah, Road America was another good step in the right direction for him. Him and I didn't talk a ton Superbike this weekend, but yeah, I mean,
Dude,
just chipping away.
I'm gonna tell you right now, dude, watch this space. Him at the Ridge. I think that chassis is unreal. I think it's good. I
Mhm.
think you don't need power at the Ridge. I think you bolt 10 horsepower, or sorry, 10 mile an hour is what I think he was down. 8 to 10 mile an hour. You bolt that into that bike, and that dude's sniffing, like
Yeah.
having a serious sniff.
Yes.
Yeah, I do. I do. I think he's outperforming the bike at the moment.
Yep. I mean, we'll segue right into baggers. The dude is riding out of his skin. There's no mistake about it that he's in really good form riding motorcycles, and he's proven it in the bagger class. Another double for him this weekend. There was some fight from the motor company boys, as James would say. It was good to see Kyle get the challenge win. He was making Hayden work for it, and Hayden, tried a big lunge and didn't quite get her stopped. So, but yeah, it was on the last lap. I thought, with the pace that Hayden had in qualifying, you were like, oh, here we go again, here we go again. But um, the Harley boys, Bradley Smith and Kyle Wyman, were in the picture, both races, I think. So Hayden got away a little bit in race two, but yeah, it was good to see it. I mean, look, say what you want about the rule changes. It's good to see the battle starting to form a little bit at the front. I mean, Hayden's still, again, riding great, but yeah, you could see a little glimmer in the eye of all the Harley boys, yourself included, James, going away from Road America. So good to see it. You want to tell us about your weekend, bagger wise?
Yeah, I mean, I kind of said it in our debrief, but synopsis was it was our best weekend, right? Like we
Yep.
we showed up, the motor company did a phenomenal job, rolled off the truck, and speed traps were, a hell of a lot closer than we've been all year. So,
Yep.
step number one at Road America, if you don't have a fast engine, you can't even compete, right?
Yep.
So Kyle rolled off the truck fast. Bradley seemed to struggle most of the weekend, but showed up like a bandit in both races.
Yeah.
Pulling that GP, uh,
That
big
extra little
veteran
bit.
GP moves, dude.
Yeah.
Just getting a sniff, getting a toe, and figuring it out on the fly. But
Yep.
it's a positive. We walk away. Uh, I would say from the team morale point of view that the door creaked open, right?
Yep.
Like it's not slammed shut anymore. It's creaked open, and they stopped. Fair play. The boys stopped the charge, right? They put the
Yep.
other two Indians off the box, and
Yep.
that's step number one into clawing this back. But I mean, I know more than anybody from last year with the hooligan. Like when you get on a wave, it just seems super easy. And I've talked with Hayden. I was a past teammate with him. It's cool to
Yep.
see. Yeah, I think the
Yep.
guy deserves it. But at the same time, we want to beat him. So, but yeah, it's
Yeah.
one of those weekends, dude.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, Rocco had more gremlins than I've seen anyone have in a weekend yet this year. I mean, just one thing after another. He couldn't spin laps half the time. He was just, beating his head against the wall. And Rocco wears his emotions on his sleeve. So every time he saw me, he was just like, turn his head and go, I don't want to talk. Don't want to talk about it. So, uh, yeah. And you know, Troy walked out, you know, disappointed, I think, a little bit, but definitely not feeling like he had the worst weekend ever. Um, he just was there, and he knows he needs more, and he's got to figure out how to extract more out of the bike. And he knows he's not riding the bike to the limit of its potential, and he's just got to figure out how to get comfortable. So, um, yeah, we all know the bike's good, and he knows the bike's good. He's just gotta make some moves to get comfy. The other info that I have was Kyle said, and we saw it in lap two. I don't know if James, you've watched the race back yet, but he had a massive slide. I think it was in lap one or lap two, and just immediately realized, oh shit, we missed on the setup, and I'm not gonna have any rear grip. So he kind of went into management mode a little bit and did the best he could. And Bradley was right there to pick it up and take second. So yeah. Corey, did you watch Baggers? You got anything that you saw that strikes interest?
I didn't actually watch it.
That's all right, no worries.
Yeah, I mean, just to pick that up, I think it's it's tough. You could see Kyle was definitely spinning like he can on that bike. He was spinning quite a bit. Bradley looked absolutely locked in.
He did.
He hit something on that race too. For me, Starting from pit lane, definitely a missed opportunity. Like when I look at my pace, like you can never really say anything, but I thought like that was probably a pretty good fourth. Like where I came back from pit lane to only be, I think, 1.2 or 1.3 behind Herfoss.
Yep.
Those Indians kind of were getting slower towards the end of the race, tire issues. It got greasy, so there wasn't a lot of grip, but I felt like I had tire and grip like Bradley. So,
Yep.
you know, uh, it's interesting. Like when I look at it, I think Herfoss, I think is wiping his brow like, hey, I got away with that weekend because in a normal race weekend, you'd probably be sixth,
Yeah.
right? Like if you're, in baggers normally, if you're not just absolutely slapping lap times, you're
Yeah.
out of the top six, right?
Yep.
So fair play to him to kind of just manage that.
Yep.
But yeah,
Yep.
interesting weekend. I think a lot of this
Yeah.
from a lot, like a lot of fast lap times, but also just race paces. O'Hara again, just sticking his
Yeah.
nose in there.
Yeah,
You know,
he's got new bits on the bike, got a new engine. He is now, I believe, on a similar package to the Vance and Hines boys.
he found
Um,
some horsepower. They got some speed.
they definitely picked it up. He was very, very happy with what he was feeling, and he had issues. I mean, I don't know that he turned a lap in the first. It was one of the sessions he didn't really get a lap in. So they were battling it out a little bit. They lost a motor at one point, I think, on Friday. So yeah, it
He didn't
didn't
do
come
the
without.
challenge. He didn't do the
Yeah,
challenge.
exactly.
So yeah.
Yeah, it didn't come without its issues for To, but he was definitely kind of back in the mix. And again, like for me, dude, the more baggers we got battling at the front, bring it on. Like
Well, that's
if
what
we
I
get
think.
60 you guys just hammering away, I'm in. I'm in.
I think that's one of the things that was good to see about the SDI, package was, normally it's having a lot more issues than it is, but he's finished every race, I think. And
Yeah,
we need the satellite guys, and it was good to see Saddlemen field their two bikes. Toth seemed like he started to
good.
roll a little bit. I got around him a couple times. He definitely has some European corner speeds, funky style for a
Yep.
bagger.
Yep.
If somebody was gonna drag elbow, it'd be probably him, but,
He was
um,
close. I got some photos. He's
if he didn't
close.
have a 7, dude, like, if he didn't have that freaking bowling ball, he would've for sure, like,
Yeah.
but, and then Nolan, I think Nolan did a debrief on it. He seemed like he struggled early on, but
Yep.
found some pace. So, it's good to see. We need
Yep.
more. We need more. We need it closer.
Yeah. Look, I like seeing new guys on the baggers. It was
Yeah.
cool to see, like, say what you will about the style. It was cool to see him hanging off the thing and, getting it into what seemed to be some different spots. A lot of you guys are riding, pretty similar. The lines seem to be similar unless you're making a move. So it was cool to see him, taking a crack at it and not falling in line and just going GP with it. So that was cool. And yeah, he missed race 2 with a mechanical. So it would have been interesting to see what they had found. He said he was feeling comfy and thinks he would have had a little bit more. Obviously, he's a talented dude. He's going to figure it out. So, yeah, it would be cool to see him get another shot at it. I think there's one more or maybe two more overlapping weekends. No,
Only one at the
only
Ridge.
one. Okay, got it.
Yeah. Well, so the Ridge, which would be a hooligan, which at the moment,
Yeah,
I don't think anybody's fielding those. So,
got it. Yep, sweet. So you'll be solo under the truck at the ridge, huh?
dude, need to be. Let's go.
Just hammering
That's
down.
it. Need to be, dude.
It'll be
Hey,
a nice
Thursday.
weekend for everyone else. A few less Harleys out there, you know.
Hey, dude. Thursday, dude. Bolton coming up, dude. Stacks are back.
Ha 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 ha! Inside info. Stacks are back.
No, there's no info there,
No, I
They don't.
mean,
They don't
no,
need stacks, dude. They took them out.
dude.
they don't need
Dude,
him. They don't need him. James needs to lose a couple lbs, dude. Get
LB's
over it.
ain't
Yeah.
LB's ain't gonna
Hey,
tell.
hey.
Hey,
After
what
that
do you mean,
Nashville
dude? Your
trip, dude.
boys. Hey, your boys said it, dude. They're like, man, they should have never done that to you guys. We need to
Yeah.
beat
Hey,
you
is this
fair and square.
is this you, dude? Was
Give
that
me my
real?
stacks back. Send me that on post. Give me the stacks. Give me
Dude.
the stacks back.
Dude, the
Oh,
Siggy, dude.
dude.
The Siggy, dude.
What a weekend.
Oh,
Just give me my
man.
tambourine. I'll be happy, boys.
Yeah, dude, you crushed the tambourine.
Oh goodness, what a time! What a time in Nashville! What a rare occurrence where the stars align and we got to hang out. What else? Are we finito on Road America? What's
Yeah,
Give
I
us an
think
arch
so.
update. Give us an arch
yeah, there we
update.
go. Come on, what do we got? We
Dude,
know the boys are working hard.
we're rebuilding. We got a new bike coming for the next round. From the
Imagine
ground
that.
up.
Thursday
Imagine that.
bulletin, dude. 01 serial number.
Oh
Yeah.
shit.
No, we're deep in it right now. We're still trying to figure out how to keep that thing cool. But no, I think the only other thing I wanted to say was Bagger World Cup. Those boys, obviously,
Yeah. All right.
watching them. Jake it looked like I don't know what happened. All of a sudden, they found like a second or two in testing
Mm-hmm.
on Monday. A little bit too late, but they did find some speed.
Yep.
Comparatively, everyone else, it's amazing how fast those guys like and they just first time ever on it, just right up there. I
Nice.
mean, it's a testament to the level is just unbelievable over
Yeah.
there compared to here. But yeah,
I
I don't
will
know.
say,
Did you talk to those guys at all, James?
I didn't, but I mean, I will say that Bradley and Corti said that Magello is extremely technical. Like, it is
yep.
not an easy track. And he said, those boys having essentially 40 minutes, it was going to be a near impossible thing to do, trying to learn that place. But if you did watch the race, unreal racing. I mean, exactly what we're looking for here, six,
Yeah.
7 bikes early on. The big
Yep.
shout out to the Snake. Race 2,
He was
having a
in there.
freaking sniff in the first 3 when I think was it, I don't know who was leading the race, but it seemed like that it was a little bit slower until Granado got around him
Yeah.
and stretched it out. But unreal racing, it was cool. Anoni did get a test at Misano on a bagger prior. Um and they did call him out, like Bradley and Corti was like, hey dude, like he's coming to the track where he could ride one-handed, and like it's one of those tracks where it's like a VIR where you just need to know where to put the bike at the right time to unlock it,
Yep.
and it was cool to see. I think for Bagger World Cup to have Anoni win race 2 was a perfect storm. They said it was the record attendance due to Harley Davidson being there. So, you know what I mean? They're
As,
taking over the world, baby. HD.
as
Just
the rumor under the black and orange tent at Road America, I heard the same thing. Huh.
Same
No,
big
thing.
corporate guy.
I will say that I had conversations with Bradley and with Tino at the beginning of the weekend, and they gave me a projected pace or projected gap lap time wise, and the boys were well under what they thought
Yeah.
it would be. Well under, like 2 seconds under what
Yeah.
the prediction was. Like, oh, they're going to be here. They were 2 seconds closer than everybody that's kind of been around there thought. So fair play to the boys. That's a tough place to go. I mean, it's like you said, VIR, Mid Ohio, one of those places. If you don't know what you don't know, and you're not going to go fast unless you know it.
The
So
problem is, man, is they're going to tracks that are like as long as Road America. They're going to go to Silverstone, that's a 2 minute plus. They're going to go to Aragon, that's a 2 minute plus.
yeah,
Like when you start missing a tenth every corner, you're already 2 seconds behind.
yeah,
So like they're not going. So it's going to be an uphill battle for them to do it. And yeah, I mean, yeah,
Yeah,
it's
I
going
don't
to
know. I
be.
feel like we say that and then you look at fucking Binder. So, you know.
yeah.
Yeah, but dude, you're talking 2 20-minute sessions.
No, I know, but still.
Like, I mean, yeah, fair play though. Like what you're saying is true.
Yep. Herfoss, Ben Spees won a
Yep,
world championship. Not seeing any of the
yep.
tracks.
Dude, I'm not making excuses, but like it ain't
No, I
easy.
get it. It's not going to be.
It's
And
not
No,
easy, dude.
no,
it's
I
not.
think it's more impressive how fast those guys are going on the, like not taking anything away from the American guys, but how
No.
fast the European guys are able to jump on them is like pretty insane.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think
It's
I don't want to be corporate, but I think it's a testament to you know, how user friendly the bike is. Like Corey, if you jumped on one, you'd be fast. Like you would get to that second mark like that, dude. Like
Yep.
you know, they're not. Yeah, they are like this when you're trying to do lap record pace, but like they're so much easier to ride to a certain pace than every other bike. Like honestly, I think they're easier to ride than a super bike or, you know, a super sport bike at certain tracks.
I have a question. You may be able to answer this. You may not be able to answer this. Do you think that the American guys are at a disadvantage having ridden the American bagger and going over new tire, new bagger? Do you think the fish out of water thing is at play, or do you think that it's just a level?
Uh Listen, dude, like you can't take away from the level of
Right.
those guys, you know, Granado, Gutierrez, or past Moto 2 guys, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
They're extremely fast. And Noni's XGP, you know, arguably one of the only guys ever to race Mark Marquez straight up and beat him.
Yeah.
So, like when you're talking about a level, like it's hard, but I will say for sure, dude, when you jump from an American Dunlop to an MS1 French, dude, like when you come from the world circuit and the Harley Davidson is like what has been kind of built on, I don't know, like it's not very good at point and shoot. It's really good if you have rear grip. It's like an R1 or an M1 style, like a Jorge Lorenzo. A lot of corner speed. If you have good grip, you can carry it. It wants to. It doesn't like to stop and go very well. So when you bolt those guys on that are been built on that sort of corner speed, and then give them a freaking great tire, and then you know fair play, give them a setup to start that's, you know, probably really close to the best setup. It's really not that difficult when you're putting, you know, that type of class on the bikes. So I will say it's a disadvantage for the American guys. You know, when you come to a Road America and ride a 7, you know, I'm not trying to, you know, be negative on Dunlop. When you ride an absolute bowling ball that has zero grip and you can't hang off, and then you go on to something that's super grippy and you can, you know, it fixes a lot of problems. So um, yeah, I think it's a
Yep.
disadvantage.
10-4. All right. All right. What's the dog got to say about this issue? Now,
He
cool.
said it's dinner time.
It's
Oh.
He
dinner
said it's
time.
dinner time.
I couldn't agree more. All right, boys. Well, I think we'll do a pre-race pod for the Ridge if you guys are interested. Be good to catch up and hash it all out. I know we tried to go down that path a couple times here, so yeah.
Okay.
That
Yeah,
was a solid
for
rip.
sure. Let's do it.
All right, boys. Well, get some
Ciao.
dinner. Go to sleep, James. You were trying to go to sleep on us earlier, so
I'm done. I'm done. It's getting close.
done. I've had enough. All right. Great stuff, boys.
All right.
We'll
See you, boys.
talk soon.
See ya.
Cheers.